Hey everyone, I'm Baena, and welcome to this tutorial on how to create an amazing level in G Switch 4. Based on what I've heard from the community, people think I'm doing something right when it comes to level design. Vasco himself even approved. In this video, we'll dive into almost every aspect of level creation, from gameplay to decoration, and even Orbs placement too. Whether you're a beginner looking to make your first level or an experienced creator wanting to refine your skills, I've got some tips and tricks that can improve your levels, based in my opinion, of course. So, let's start with gameplay, the heart of any G Switch 4 level. What I've noticed while browsing through the level lists is that many levels, even though they use core mechanics like gravity switching or going through walls, can still end up feeling repetitive or, well, kind of boring. They might be technically fine, but they won't stand out, and that makes it hard to get into the popular category. So here's the first piece of advice. Before you do anything, pause and think. What am I going to create? It sounds simple, but it's something many people skip. They just start building without a clear idea, and while the level might turn out okay, it won't be as memorable or cohesive. So, decide first. Are you aiming for an easier level for beginners, something more challenging, or maybe a Tiers 3 type experience? Once you know your goal, it's time to focus on the layout. This is where sight readability comes in. If you want people to enjoy your level, it has to feel fair. Now don't get me wrong, fair doesn't mean easy. Some levels are tough, but still fair because they give the player enough information to react. Unfair levels? That's where things get frustrating. Think of sudden fast sections with blind jumps where players have no clue what's coming next. Here's the tricky part. Making an easy level is harder than making a hard one. Why? Because of that sight readability I just mentioned. Anyone can toss in some saws, add tight timings, or ramp the speed to 2,350. But if players aren't having fun, they'll give up. So here are some tips for creating a solid layout. Clear layout. Make sure the routes are easy to identify. When someone plays a level, the creator must indicate where you cannot go. And that's an easy fix. Add saws. Gradual difficulty. If you use a new mechanic you discovered, for example, the Ultra Bullet Wedges thing, introduce new mechanics in its simplest form. Start with showing it in order to help players get the hang of that before ramping up the challenge or giving them a twist. Balance challenge and enjoyment. While it's great to create a tough level, ensure that the challenge feels fair. Each mistake I make in a level should feel like it's my fault, not the level's. Throwing in random saws or tricky timing without context can lead to frustration rather than fun. Playtesting. Don't forget to test your level yourself to find any skips or cheeses. Try to dive from every point you can to know where to add saws or dead ends. Make adjustments as needed to ensure the experience is enjoyable. Checkpoints. Based on the level design of all G Switch games, each checkpoint must indicate the end of a section. Don't put them too far or too close to each other, just enough till you feel good once you pass it and not frustrated or confused. When it comes to decoration in G Switch 4, the options are endless, but it's essential to strike a balance between aesthetics and gameplay functionality. While there might not be a ton of complexity involved, the way you decorate your level can significantly impact the overall experience. One of the key principles to remember is to think about a decoration style that's both simple and visually appealing. Overly complex decorations, while looking good, can lead to lag or obscure the actual layout of your level, making it hard for players to navigate effectively. Here are some tips to keep in mind. Focus on the main path. Ensure that the primary route is always clear, regardless of the decorations you use. Players should be able to easily identify where they need to go, even in visually busy sections. Theme consistency. Make sure your decorations align with the overall theme of your level. Whether it's a futuristic vibe or a spooky atmosphere, maintaining a consistent theme that matches the background you used. Functional decoration. Consider incorporating decorations that serve a purpose. For instance, the speed tiles pointing to where you have to change gravity as the visual markers or indicators can help players navigate and prepare for what's ahead. But that's optional. There are more ways to lead the player, like with the mentioned saws. Orb placement is a critical element that can elevate a G-Switch 4 level, offering players that extra challenge while rewarding exploration and skill. But placing orbs can sometimes be tricky. You don't want them to be so hidden that players miss them entirely, nor do you want them to be free XP. Let's go over some tips to make your orb placement engaging and satisfying. One of the common problems I've seen, even in some of the official story levels, is that some orbs are so well hidden or out of the way that players don't even notice they exist. That's the first thing to avoid. When you place an orb, you want it to be visible, somewhere off-path where players can spot it, but not necessarily figure out immediately how to reach it. A good orb placement makes the player pause and think, wait, how do I get there? This is a great sign. It means the orb's placement is intriguing. It should feel like it's challenging but attainable, encouraging players to take an alternate route or messing around that part in order to find a way to get it. Whatever the method, the act of getting to the orb should feel rewarding. Players should feel like they've outsmarted the level when they reach it. Finally, after the player grabs the orb, they shouldn't be punished by falling into a death trap right away. It's much more satisfying to be guided back onto the main path seamlessly after collecting the orb. It gives the experience that extra swag factor, making players feel good about their accomplishment rather than frustrated by unnecessary deaths. In short, good orb placement should strike the right balance between visibility, challenge, and reward. When done right, it can add layers of fun and satisfaction to your level. So that's about it. We've covered the key elements of building a solid level in G-Switch 4. Gameplay design, decoration, orb placement, and, of course, the importance of beating your own level fairly. Remember, creating a memorable level isn't just about making it tough or flashy. It's about making it fun, fair, and engaging. With all these tips in mind, you'll be well on your way to creating a level that not only stands out, but also gets the recognition it deserves. Thanks for watching, and good luck building your next level.